Hello everybody, today I'm going to complete my series of videos on the Great Western part of the map by taking a look at South Wales. Since we've already been over the section of track into Paddington a couple of times, we're not going to follow the train all the way from Swansea to Paddington. Rather, we will follow this first Great Western train as far as Bristol Parkway and then switch to a service to Weston-super-Mare, so we get to go through Bristol and take a look at the line down towards Taunton. So most of the South Wales part of this network is now complete. The only service that I haven't got running on this route is the Arriva Trains Wales hourly service towards Manchester. Since the line doesn't go up any further than Newport yet, there's not really any need for that. I'm currently working on the East Midlands part of the network, having largely finished the lines around Birmingham. Once I've completed the East Midlands section, I'm going to put in Shrewsbury and Mid Wales, and at that point I think it'll be time to add the West Wales to Manchester service. So what that means is there aren't currently any services to Milford Haven, but I do have the 2 hourly service from Pembroke Dock to Swansea. Now most of the Welsh services were fairly simple to implement. The main line especially is just a matter of these Great Western services and the occasional Arriva Trains Wales services from Cardiff to Swansea. The real challenge was getting the valley lines down, because the valley lines north and south of Cardiff have quite a complex timetable with lots of interworking of the different routes. So for instance, a train might, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but a train might come in from Merthyr Tydfil and go to Barry and then go back from Barry down one of the other lines towards Rhymney or something. I'm going to make no attempt to correctly pronounce these Welsh place names, by the way, so you'll have to forgive me for that. So that required some work to get the timetables and diagrams going correctly, but now that it's done, it seems all to be working like clockwork. That's not always the case. Sometimes I'll put in what I think will have been the correct timetable and we'll get a big blockade somewhere because all the trains want to go somewhere that they're not supposed to go, but that hasn't happened with the Valley Lines. They've been remarkably smooth. So you can see the Valley Lines trains on the leftmost platforms at Cardiff Central. Cardiff Central is an interesting station to manage because it involves a lot of trains arriving from the east and sometimes from the west, and then having to go and wait in sidings before they can be allocated another platform. So that kind of adds an extra level of complexity to dealing with the platform arrangements at Cardiff Central. So you'll notice that along this part of the route I've tried to add in some of the freight spurs off the main line. So just before Newport there was one to the right and there's another one here. This is really just for eye candy. I'm not planning to add any freight routes to this map yet. Maybe I will one day. It's really a question about whether or not this map will be too CPU intensive once all the passenger routes are put on. It's fairly CPU intensive as it is. I think more than half of the convoys are on the map already that we will have when we're finished, but when we get to the end it may well be that my computer setup can't handle any more convoys on the map, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get some freight on here one day. Since data for that is now available on Open Train Times, you can get some freight timetables, so it'd be nice to have that running alongside the passenger services, but I think it'd be quite complex to do. We'll see, one day. So we've arrived at Bristol Parkway now, and we'll leave the first Great Western service to go on to Paddington. If you want to see the route towards Paddington, the last Bristol video had the route from Swindon to Paddington. So we're going to jump onto this slow service from Bristol Parkway to Weston-super-Mare, which stops I think everywhere in between. So you'll probably have guessed from what I've been saying that the video production is lagging somewhat behind how far I've actually got on the map now. So we're currently looking at the Wales and West lines, which have been on the map for some time now. We've actually got up as far as Birmingham, and eventually I will get around to catching the videos up with the progress on the map. So next I want to get a couple of videos on the Birmingham area, so I'll probably take a look up the Chiltern main line from Marylebone to Birmingham. And also, of course, up the West Coast main line from Euston to Birmingham via Northampton and so forth. So that'll be a couple of videos soon. And also the Midland main line from St Pancras to Nottingham is something else that is now in place, and that I'll be able to do a video on soon. So within the next few weeks I'll hopefully get videos out of those routes. But I should also say that I'm open to requests on videos. I've mainly just been showcasing the main lines because I thought that they would probably produce the most interest. But if there's a particular branch line or area of the map that I've skated over, then feel free to request it in either the comments here or on the Simutrans forum, and I'll be happy to create a video of it, or perhaps a series of screenshots or something. Similarly, if you have any questions about the map, about the details of anything that I covered before, about the timetables, or how you go about creating something like this, then feel free to ask that as well. I do have a video in the works which explains how to go about the basics of creating a map based on real-world locations. Hopefully I'll try to get that out shortly. We're about to arrive at Weston-super-Mare. I hope you've enjoyed this video of South Wales and the line towards Weston, and tune in for a video of a line to Birmingham very soon. Thank you.